How you all doing this evening? This is Brandon with Archie Cinema. I do my first movie review here. Today I'm reviewing the 1999 Stanley Kubrick directed thriller Eyes Wide Shut, starring Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman. Unfortunately, this is the last film that Stanley Kubrick completed before he passed away in March of 1999. I actually picked this up in the Stanley Kubrick Visionary Filmmaker Collection, Blu-ray collection. Pretty decent collection for the price. The Blu-ray art for Eyes Wide Shut is pretty basic. It's basically just the poster art is what they put on the Blu-ray disc. Pretty basic. I will be giving away some spoilers, so if you haven't seen the movie, definitely stop the video here and come back. The only way I can kind of give away the plot is to give away some spoilers. So Eyes Wide Shut is basically about a typical family in New York. Bill Hartford and Alice Hartford. They have a daughter. Bill is a physician, living a pretty basic life. As the movie kind of starts, they're going to a ball or party, and Alice makes an observation. She's like, do you know anybody at this ball out of all these people other than Bill's friend Victor Ziegler and his wife? They invited them, but he's like, yeah, I don't know anybody else, but Victor invited us, so, we'll show up. As the night progresses a little bit, Bill meets with Nick Nightingale. This is one of his classmates that he hasn't seen since medical school. Nick actually dropped out of medical school, is now a full-time pianist, and they kind of just making small talk. And Nick says, "Hey, I'm playing at the Greenwich Village, so definitely come see me play." So Bill's like, "Yeah, I'll check you out if I get time." So Bill and Alice are getting separated, and this is where you see a little bit of the chink in the armor as far as their marriage, how their marriage is going. Alice is being flirtatious with this guy. They dance, become a little flirty. Bill gets pulled kind of to the other side of the estate, and these two ladies are talking to him, and the conversations are getting a little bit, strange. And before something else happens, he's asked to come upstairs. Victor has an emergency. Victor is actually upstairs with a prostitute that's overdosed. And Bill just kind of checks on her, make sure she's good. She kind of comes out of it. And he just says, hey, she'll be okay. Just kind of watch her. But he lets her know, hey, you do have a drug problem. You need to go get help. And before he leaves, Victor says, hey, can you not let anybody know about this? Because, obviously Victor is married, but Bill's like, hey, no problem. I'm not going to tell anybody. He just thinks that, hey, this guy's into a lifestyle that I'm not into, but it's none of my business. So the next day, the next night comes, and Bill and Alice are in their bedroom at their house just having a conversation. Alice kind of says, hey, I saw you walking with those ladies. Like, what happened? And so they start to go back and forth, and Bill lets her know, hey, I saw you flirting with that man. What happened with that? And Alice also says, hey, I saw you were missing upstairs for a while. Like, where did you go? And he does lie to her and say Victor was sick. He doesn't mention, Victor was upstairs with a prostitute. So they go back and forth for a bit, and Bill just kind of stops and say, hey, look, start talking about infidelity and things like that. He say, hey, I would never cheat on you because I respect our marriage. And Alice drops a bomb on him, says, hey, like a couple years ago when we went on vacation, I saw this naval officer that I was infatuated by. And she said, honestly, if I had the chance, I would have cheated on you with him. And she's like, this lifestyle that we have, I would be willing to throw it all away to be with him. And this completely crushes Bill's world. He thought, he had a great marriage, and he's really kind of in a trance until he gets a phone call that one of his patients has passed away. So he goes to meet with the family, and, he can't get that thought out of his mind. It's like, this is a brilliant directing done, where that thought of, in like a montage of his wife sleep with the naval officer kind of keeps coming on. And as the night progresses a little bit, you start noticing that, Bill actually has other opportunities to be unfaithful, which is like a bad time. He's already in a dark space, and these instances come up time and time again where he can be unfaithful to his wife, whether he does or not, you got to watch the movie. But as he's walking around Manhattan, he actually sees the club where his buddy Nick Nightingale is playing. So he goes in there. They kind of make small talk. Nick lets him know that, he's actually has a family in Seattle. He just plays piano in different areas, different states, whatever it's called for. But he does mention, hey, when I'm in New York, I'm asked to go to these strange parties. I'm blindfolded. I don't know what's going on. But one day the blindfolds fell down, and I saw these beautiful women in there, these scantily clad women, or, That's all I can say. That they don't tell him what's going on, but I did see that. And while they're having a conversation, he gets a phone call. Say, hey, this is actually them right now. I actually got to meet up at this spot. And Bill's already kind of vulnerable, but he wants to think about it. He said, hey, you can't leave me hanging like that. Like, I want to check this out. This seems interesting. And he does, he said, hey, you got to have a password. He gives him the password. And he's like, you have to have a costume to get in. We can't go together. He's like, I'll go by myself. But he kind of tells him what what he would need to wear and the password. But, it's kind of small talk. I'm not sure if he knows that whether Bill would show up or not. So it's the wee hours of the morning. Like I said, Bill still can't get that out of his mind that his wife would cheat on him. But he gets his costume and goes to this party. And he gets in. He has the password, gets in. And as he goes in, he doesn't know anybody there, but there's a certain couple that kind of looks at him and kind of lets him know, we see you, we know you, but he's not thinking about it. He doesn't know what's going on at this place. So he's kind of led around the mansion a little bit. And this lady comes to him and says, hey, you're in danger. You need to get out of here. He doesn't know who it is. She has a mask on too. So he's led to different parts of the mansion, and a door opens up and it's Caligula all over the place. So you don't know what's going on. He's not ready for this. So he's still kind of moving around a little bit. He's asked again by the lady, say, hey, you're really in danger. You really need to leave right now. So he's found out and made to be brought in front of the dozens of people at this party. And he's threatened. They's like, hey, if you don't ever come back here again, and also if you let anybody know what you've seen here, you and your family are going to be in danger. So, leave and don't come back. So as the movie continues on, these strange things start happening. Like Bill's not sure if people are following him. He's not sure if he, him and his family are in danger of being killed or sought out or something happening to them. He's trying to retrace his steps about what's going on and meeting up with people, and he thinks he's being followed. So all these different elements are coming in. That's what I like about this film. It's very, very dark. The music plays a big part of it. Brilliant, composed by Jocelyn Pook. The music is almost like a character within itself. Very Hitchcockian feel, very mysterious film. I know it's kind of a little bit divided with fans. Some people don't really care for this. It's personally one of my favorite Stanley Kubrick movies. So that's my review for Eyes Wide Shut. This Blu-ray collection also has several special features. I'll go through each of those. The first feature is called The Haven Mission Control. They're talking with Stanley Kubrick's family and about how they live pretty much a normal life, but, kind of, away from the Hollywood scene in England. That's one of the reasons why he moved there with his family. How Stanley Kubrick, most directors do a lot of their work in like an office or on the set. He did a lot of his post-production and editing at his home. That's where he felt the most comfortable. They also talked about his relationship with Steven Spielberg. They talked about his method of directing. They get into how Clockwork Orange was literally banned in a lot of different, countries and areas and things like that, and how they were getting death threats as a result of that. So that's the first feature. The second feature is called Artificial Intelligence, or The Writer as Robert. They're talking about the ideas and origins of the artificial intelligence movie that Stanley Kubrick was going to complete, but he passed away. And that's the movie that Steven Spielberg came and developed later on. The next feature is called EWS, a film by Stanley Kubrick. Tom Cruise is kind of prominently featured in this. They talk about how they met, how they're talking about just general filmmaking, and they talk about what they're trying to reach as far as Eyes Wide Shut goes. Their first meeting. Nicole Kidman's also in this feature, talking about working with Stanley Kubrick and how he's very demanding of his actors and what he's trying to what skills he uses to get you to that place. And also they speak with his family again and talk about a little bit of his process too, and how he was as a father, and also how, because he stayed home so much with his family, they literally have his body buried in their backyard, because they were like, that's where he felt peace at. So that's where we buried him at in the yard at their home. The next feature is called Lost Kubrick, the unfinished films of Stanley Kubrick. Stanley Kubrick had a few ideas for some other films that he never got to complete. You see artwork and ideas and things like that in this feature. One movie he was going to make was a movie on Napoleon Bonaparte that seemed really interesting. But Stanley Kubrick is definitely a perfectionist. And so if everything is not in place, he's not really going to pursue a movie if everything can't be done correctly. And the final feature on here is called DGA, D.W. Griffith Award Acceptance. This was a speech that Stanley Kubrick gave in 1998. It actually was, he was filming Eyes Wide Shut, which is the reason why he wasn't able to be at the award. But he just gives a speech talking about, how much he appreciates it and how he appreciates, working in film and things of that sort. So that's really the end of the special features in this DVD. I hope you guys like it. Definitely let me know what you think about this movie or this Blu-ray collection. Till I see you guys next time. Until next time, take care.